The new administration eked out a couple of victories this week in Georgia, and progressives have only begun to fight. So here to tell us why he thinks the Democrats are not down and out, at least not yet, is the recently elected chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Tom Perez. Tom. So, as I said, you know, Democrats have given Republicans a run for their money in places where they didn't think they would have to run so hard. Didn't get the elections, but have made gains. Where do you go from here?
Oh, I think you're spot on. You got to understand, I was disappointed Tuesday, but this was Newt Gingrich's old seat. Democrats haven't won there in 37 years. And
but there were
8 months ago,
two other seats that were lost also.
Sure, and Democrats have, all of the seats that have been in play, the congressional seats, are beat red districts.
Okay.
You know, you appoint cabinet secretaries from beat red districts so that you don't lose ground in the House.
Right.
We lost the Price seat in Atlanta by 24 points in November, and we cut that margin by 20 points. The Kansas seat a few months back, we were supposed to lose that by 30. We lost it by single digits. There are 71 congressional districts right now that are more competitive than the Georgia 6 race. And we need to take 24 seats to take the House. If you look at our history, the last 3 times you've had single party control, sometimes it was Democrats, sometimes it was Republicans. The following midterm election, the party out of power won 28 seats. And you know, if some of you read Nate Silver, if we keep taking these margins down by 20 points, like we've done, we're going to take 50 seats. But you know what? You know, history, past is not always prologue.
That's right.
So I don't come to you today saying I guarantee that. But what I do know is that I think our values are spot on. We want help. We think health care is a right for all and not a privilege for a few. And as we sit here, there's 13 men in the U.S. Senate right now who are debating the future of health care. There's this thing called essential health benefits. The Affordable Care Act mandates that you have to provide certain health benefits. The House bill strips coverage for maternity care. I don't know why I turned to you when I said that.
It's fitting, Tom. I'm pretty pissed.
Well, you know what, Tom, some Democrats really think that we need that there needs to be a shakeup at the top, starting with Nancy Pelosi. They want her out. And Donald Trump actually just tweeted this morning, "I certainly hope the Democrats do not force Nancy P out. That would be very bad for the Republican Party. And please let crying Chuck stay." What do you say to all of that?
Well, you know what? We're having this debate about the Affordable Care Act right now. And the person in the Congress singularly most responsible for the passage of the Affordable Care Act was Nancy Pelosi. Thank God she was leading the House of Representatives during the passage of that. She has fought her entire career for fairness, for opportunity, for everyone. And people often ask me the question, Tom, with the president not in power now, you know, who leads the Democratic Party? And you know, I think the leaders of the Democratic Party are those women who are out there on January 21st in Washington, D.C. and around the country. I think the Democratic Party, you know, I'm a grassroots guy. I learned from Barack Obama, change comes from the bottom up.
You're talking about the Affordable Care Act, though, and a lot of the reason that people cited for not voting for Hillary Clinton, people that wound up voting for Donald Trump, was because their health care premiums were going up. So if Nancy Pelosi is representative of that, doesn't that in some way hurt the party? Maybe people want to see from Democrats a willingness to revise a system that hasn't worked for many of them.
Well, actually, what's interesting now, Jedediah, is now that people actually know what the Affordable Care Act does for them, there's overwhelming support for it. Because I talked to a woman the other day who, you know, has diabetes, and she's scared to death. She didn't know it was the Affordable Care Act that got her coverage. I talked to the parent of a triplet who spent 9 months in the hospital, a bill of $1.5 million, and they didn't have to pay it because of the Affordable Care Act. So now that people know what it is, they actually support it. Can it be improved? Absolutely. It can't be improved in secret. And we had 100 hearings in the House, in the Senate on the.
You have to keep telling
the Senate
everybody
bill.
that 23 million people are going to get thrown off. But here's my question. You know, because a lot of people still think that the Democrats do not have a clear message and that Donald Trump had a slogan. He didn't have a message, he had a slogan,
Right.
Keep America Great Again, make it whatever. I can't even say it, it's so stupid. But,
Worked.
And he stole it from Ronald Reagan, I'm just saying.
That's true.
But what's your message? Let's hear it in a sentence. What's
We're
the
fighting to make
Democrat-
your lives better every single day.
That's the slogan.
We're fighting to make your
That's the
lives better.
slogan. What's the
Making
message?
Sure, by making sure when you get access to health care, no one who works a full-time job in this country should have to live in poverty. No one who is pregnant should have to worry about whether they're going to have health care. No one who's worked 30 years should have to worry about their retirement. Our diversity has been what has always made America great. And will always make America great.
You have to talk
That's
to
what
those
we stand
people
for.
in the Rust Belt and the coal industry.
Sure.
You have to talk to those people. The Democratic
Absolutely.
Party must speak to those people.
Absolutely.
And the unions need to get strong again. But, you know, some people say that you backed a flawed candidate, that Hillary was not a good enough candidate. I don't know if you agree with that. It's water under the bridge. I hate when they even bring her up, to tell you the truth. It's over. But who do you think can beat Trump the next time, if, God forbid, he's running again?
Yeah, well, that assumes he'll be there in 2020.
Yeah, well, I don't assume that. I don't assume
But
that.
here's the deal. Back in 1989, when George Herbert Walker Bush won, there were a lot of people saying, oh my God, there's going to be 4 terms of Republican rule. Who's going to emerge next time around? And you know what? We've got a lot of remarkable people in the Democratic Party. I go around this country, and they're governors, they're people in the Senate,
But who's
people in the
emerging
House.
as the candidate?
Oh,
Any names?
I think it's early right now, and again, back in 1989, people were saying, you know, there was a lot of hand-wringing.
Yeah.
I have a lot of optimism, because you know what? When we lead with our values every single day, when we talk about good jobs that pay a good wage, when we talk about the fact that climate change is not a hoax, it is a threat to our planet. When we talk about the need to make sure that the economy is working. When I grew up in Buffalo, New York, you know, I'm a union town.
Right.
And when we talk to union voters and say, you know what, that Supreme Court justice that just got confirmed, he's going to be the 5th vote to make it next to impossible for unions to organize.
Yeah.
We've got a president who talks about an infrastructure bill. You know what that infrastructure bill is going to do? It's going to make it next to impossible for unions to get a decent wage, because they want to have low-wage infrastructure bills. That's what Mike Pence did in Indiana. And we've got to talk about
You need the
this.
candidate, the voice.
You know, we know what we have to do, and we have our eye on the prize. And what you can't do is let people talk you out of moving forward, because that's what people are trying to do. So you have to come back and play with us some more. We want to say thanks to Chairman Tom Perez. We will be right back.